When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739-7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com. When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739-7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com. When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right.
Thank you for joining me once again. I'm so happy that you're here. Today, I'm going to be asking you all a very important question. So you need to call everybody into your sitting room or to sit down and watch your mobile device with you. Is it important that we engage in community activity? Did you vote during the last election? Now, my name's Jennifer Obaseki and I'm going to be discussing these issues, these questions with my very, very important guests. This evening, I have a magnanimous, wonderful lady with me, and she happens to be the Mayor of Barking, and her name is Miss
Sanchia, Alasta.
Yes. Now, the full title, if people were to address you, is
the Worshipful Mayor of Barking and Dagenham, Councillor Sanchia Alasta.
So, Miss Alasta, I am so honoured for you, our Lady Mayor, to come and join us this evening.
I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you. Now, for those people who are not so sure what a mayor does, will you be able to tell us, in your own words, what's the role of our local mayor?
Well, I'm a civic mayor, so most of the mayors in the London boroughs are civic mayors. We do have a few directly elected ones, but I'm a civic mayor. So my role is about the community in Barking and Dagenham, visiting the community groups and all the other groups that are doing good works, trying to raise their profile. And I'm the first citizen of Barking and Dagenham, so it means that after the Queen and the Deputy Lieutenant, I'm the next person in line in terms of importance in the borough.
So after the Queen, the Deputy Lieutenant, you are the next important civilian within the borough.
Yes.
That is very, very high profile.
It's a real privilege, absolutely, yeah.
And what led you to this? If we say, what's your history that led you into this important civil, important community role that you have?
Well, I've been an elected councillor on Barking and Dagenham Council for 8 years. So we had our elections, and you mentioned that in May. We had local elections in May, so I was elected for another 4-year term.
Fantastic.
And some of my colleagues actually approached me and thought, yeah, you'd make a really good mayor, civic ambassador for the community. And so I thought about it and decided to put my hat in the ring, and I was successful in getting the role. So here I am now.
Fabulous. For those people that are out there, you know, and sit down and think, I'd love to do more within the community. I'm not happy about this. I'd love to take an interest in that. what would you say? Because many people sit behind their sofas or sit on their sofas behind the TV and think and give their commentary. I don't think that's right. I'm not happy with this. If I'm a concerned citizen in Barking or wherever, what should be my first point of call? If I'm not happy, for example, with the library.
Yeah, I mean, there's many different ways to get involved. So being an elected politician is one way, but we also have many community activists in all different fields. So it could be education, it could be arts and culture. We're encouraging a lot of people to become school governors,
Yes.
particularly if you have a child at a school in the borough. It's really important that you put yourself forward to be a parent governor. And shape the way that the school is approaching the curriculum and the direction that the school is taking. And of course, elective office is another way. So there's many different ways to get involved. I mean, Barking and Dagenham has over 300 community and voluntary groups that work in different ways to either support the council or lobby us. And so
Did you hear?
yeah.
Support or lobby?
Yes.
So
Yes,
it's,
absolutely.
if you've got those opinions, stop shouting at the local newspaper or your TV and decide. There's so many groups within your locality, and if there's not one that's tailored to what you're talking about, start the group.
So easy.
Yeah. Go ahead. So if we start lobbying the local council, and then where would our petition or our submissions go to?
Well, it would go to a full council meeting. So if there's a petition of a certain number of signatures, just like in Parliament, if there's a petition that has a certain number of signatures, it has to be debated in Parliament, and that's the same with all local councils. So with Barking and Dagenham Council, if a petition reaches a certain number of signatures, we have to debate it in the council chamber. But apart from that, the groups would work with us in various different ways to help us shape our services and prioritise where our limited funds will go. So petition is another way, but also working with us to help us to shape the future direction of where we want the borough to go is also another thing that people can get involved in.
Now, Barking and Dagenham is a very diverse borough, much like many of the inner London boroughs that we have, you know. So what would you say is your makeup? What would you say is the demographic of your constituency or your borough?
Well, the demographics have changed, particularly over the last 5 to 10 years. The demographics of Barking and Dagenham have really changed because a lot of people have migrated from the inner London boroughs to us as our outer London boroughs, and I'm one of the people that migrated from an inner London borough to Dagenham over 10 years ago. So now, I mean, white British is still the highest proportion, but after white British, Nigerian is actually the next highest, and we actually have the highest concentration of Nigerians in the whole of London.
Whoa,
Yes.
and I thought it'd be in the southeast, but it's actually here in Barking.
That's right.
Oh, that's wonderful. It means the borough's rich in culture.
Yeah, I mean, the borough has over probably 150 people from different cultures and countries here now.
That's what's beautiful,
Yeah.
actually, about it. You know, when you go into a London borough and it's cosmopolitan and there's a mix, it adds to the beauty, in my opinion, of the community.
It enriches us and helps us also to make better decisions as well.
And what are the priorities for the borough that people need to be aware of? What are the real, let's say, the top 4 priorities for the borough?
Well, I think the top priority is housing and having affordable housing and social housing. So in a place called Thames View, we are building over 10,000 homes. It's
Good
been
to hear.
nicknamed Barcelona on Thames.
Oh.
And we're actually building new rail links as well. So actually, again, just preparing for a number of people moving from those inner London boroughs to boroughs like ours, which are more affordable. So that's the top priority. Arts and culture is a big priority for us as well. So we've got Barking Broadway Theatre, but we're doing a lot of work with the Barbican Theatre in central London. So really promoting the arts and the culture. We've got art galleries now here. in Barking and
Where are
Dagenham.
they?
Well, we have a gallery called Laura Eye Gallery on Abbey Road, and we've got Studio 3 Arts, which is a cultural organisation, and we're looking to develop in the arts and the culture and a lot more. So we're building actually studios for artists, and we want to attract artists to come here to
So
this
you hear
borough.
that. So if you're in the creative world, Barking and Dagenham is actually trying to create a let's say a launch pad space for you and for your creative designs. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then education. I mean, over the last 10 years, we've really built up our educational base into a much stronger base. Barking and Dagenham wasn't known for high educational achievement, but actually now a lot of our schools are becoming
well.
good and
Good.
outstanding. And we've had Coventry University open a campus in Dagenham, which means that we have a university in the borough, a local university where people can attend now.
That is absolutely fabulous because Coventry actually has good reputation.
Yeah.
So to know that you've actually got a higher education and a very renowned higher institution here offering university courses is absolutely fabulous. I
Yeah.
don't think people tend to know all these very important things that they can tap into or even cascade, relay this information so that people can benefit. If it's not for you, it might be for somebody else that you relay the information to. Now, tell me what a typical day in the life of the mayor is like, because I'm interested. And I say this because I know that there's lots of women out there that are interested in community activity and think, I might never ever achieve that. And believe me, 8 years ago, I'm sure that yourself didn't think, oh, I'm gonna be the Lord Mayor or the mayor one day of Barking and Dagenham. So, if you tell us what a typical day is like for you.
I mean, it can vary. Some days we might have just one appointment, and some days there might be appointments from morning till evening. So visiting community groups. This weekend is Remembrance Weekend.
Yes.
So I'll be going to City Hall for a remembrance event, and then remembrance events locally. I've got the Lord Mayor Show in central London on the weekend. Next year we'll have New Year's Day parade. We've got a lot of churches in the borough. We've got over 150 churches, so I'm quite busy visiting all of the churches in terms of their Thanksgiving programs, and there'll be a lot of Christmas carol programs and things like
Lots
that.
of Christmas cake.
Yeah, so I've got to be careful there.
Not too much turkey,
Yes,
not too much Christmas cake.
absolutely, yeah. So yeah, and then I'm particularly interested in the small community groups that feel that they don't have a voice.
For you, is that what
Yes, because I want to
passion?
bring them out into the light and promote the work that they're doing. And since I've become the mayor, I have met wonderful people and wonderful groups who really inspire me in terms of the work that they're doing. Yeah.
Fabulous. For me as a Nigerian, I've seen the kind of growth of the borough. I used to come down to the court a lot when it was the criminal court in Barking. At one stage, it was a traffic court, so a lot of the traffic cases used to come there. So I used to enjoy going through the market, and over the years, I've seen the change, and especially the sort of the developments, the building work that's going on, a lot of the office space that's come about, and the shopping centre, amazing. And the fact that it has such good rail links is also something that has attracted a lot of people. It's become more of a bit of a commuter town, being on the outskirts. In relation to the mix, and as you say, the arts has been a concentration. What else is being done for close links and integration within the community? Because it's good having different cultures, but very important that there's a good level of integration. And what can we do to encourage that?
Yeah, it's really important that as a council we encourage community cohesion. So that has been a big focus of ours. One of our deputy leaders, Councillor Simon Ashworth, have been leading on a big community cohesion package and working with different groups in the borough to bring them together. So we have a lot of festivals over the summer period where we look to bring different groups together, and we get them involved in the work that the council is doing. So in terms of consultation, in terms of the direction of the council, we've had, for the first time ever, we had a Facebook Live consultation, which is the way things are going now.
Digitalise or die.
Yes, absolutely. We've got to move with the times. And what we also have in Barking and Dagenham is we kind of have like a lottery. We have a local lottery, and we have a crowdfunding campaign for local groups that want to initiate projects. So we do a match funding scheme. So if, for example, they raise 2,000 through the scheme, we would also give them 2,000. So that is also another way of getting groups to get their programs out and their initiatives out, some of which are about bringing different people together.
So if you've got a project that's about integration, you can try to enter into this fabulous lottery, which sounds amazing, where you're going to try and get match funding for your project idea. And so it's important that you get your plans together succinctly in a good presentable package, and then your budget down so that, again, they can see that your aims are achievable and the financial costs, and you never know, you could be selected. Now, we're going to take a very, very short break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to be asking our lovely mayor some more questions about politics and why we should actually be involved, why we shouldn't be apathetic towards our community activities and letting our voice be heard. So see you in just one moment.
When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739 7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com. When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739 7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com. When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739 7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com.
On Truth and Justice TV, and today, as I've said, I have the wonderful Mayor of Barking joining us, and she's here to answer questions. So in the last few minutes of the programme, I will be opening up the phone lines, but in the meantime, darling Mayor,
Thank you.
I know it's worshipful, or Lady Mayor, but I would say our darling Mayor.
Thank you.
Honestly, you are quite an inspiration.
Thank you
to
so
a lot of the
much.
young people that are out there, young ladies that see you. I get positive feedback, and if any of them, or even the young men out there, aspired to being a counsellor or rise higher than that within the council or within the local community decision making, local governance, where should they start?
Yeah, well, I think the first place to probably start is to decide which political party they would like to join. There's a plethora of parties, or whether they want to be an independent, because you do have some councillors that are
That's
not
true.
a member of a party at all. And then once they've made that decision, they can go to the website Be a Councillor, which is a non-partisan website, which has a wealth of information there of how to become a councillor. For my party, the Labour Party, once you join the party, you can stand to be a councillor after 1 year of membership in the party. And they normally have an application form, an interview process, and then a selection process after that to select you as a candidate. And then once you're selected as a candidate, you'll be expected to campaign and talk to people and convince them to vote for you.
You can't be too shy.
No, no.
Even if you are shy, you'll be supported.
Yes, absolutely. There's loads of support out there because there's lots of experienced people that will guide and support you in terms of your journey. And there's various mentoring schemes that the Labour Party and I know other political parties do.
Some people that are a bit reserved might be put off at that, or feel that they don't have those people skills in dealing with the public. Therefore, even though they have good articulation, good way of speaking to a small group of people, they might feel a bit shy. But don't worry, there are mentoring schemes out there, courses you can go on, so you'll have support. And I'm sure that over time you'll even increase in those skills and perfect them. So don't be discouraged.
I mean, I was initially quite a reserved person before I was elected.
I know you were quite quiet.
I have I'm still, I suppose, naturally quiet, but things have changed. But the training is excellent. And Berkeley and Dagenham Council has actually won awards for its training that it gives to new councillors. So, yeah, well supported.
And then, okay, you've said to join a party. And can you just, for those out there that are not aware of the difference, just distinguish between local governance, London national governance, and then UK as a whole national governance? Because people think, okay, there's a mayor in our local constituencies or local boroughs, Dagenham, Enfield, etc. But then there's a London mayor, and then now you've got regional mayors around the country. So if you can, for some, just distinguish.
Yes, there are a plethora of different systems when it comes to politics here in the UK. So local government is about your local council, and each council will elect a number of councillors between normally 50 and 65. And we deal with the issues relating to the borough only. Okay. So we deal with education, so the schools in the borough, the housing, crime and disorder specifically within the borough, environmental issues, your bins being collected, and things like that. Now, our MPs, our two MPs for Berkeley and Dagenham, Margaret Hodge and John Crudgers, deal with the issues in Parliament. So they don't deal with your bins being collected or the schools, but they do try to work with us to support us on those issues. Okay. But they will take up the issues nationally that affect us in Parliament and lobby the government. Obviously, our two MPs are Labour and the government is of a different hue, so they will lobby the government to fight for what's best for their residents here in the borough. So we work together, but we have separate roles. And then Sadiq Khan, who is the London mayor, also sets the political direction. So, for example, Sadiq Khan has a housing strategy that we as a local council have to follow.
I see.
And he can sometimes have influence over what we do in terms of housing and regeneration. So he can overrule some plans that we have in terms of housing and regeneration, because he is kind of above us in that sense. But we all like to work together as much as possible.
There is cooperation.
Absolutely.
Even though it sounds complicated, there's cooperation. I guess Sadiq Khan steers what the borough's direction is on the major issues, and then the borough itself sits down and consults, and hopefully it all works out.
Yes, in the end.
In the end.
Most of the time. Yeah.
So in relation to your plans for yourself and projects that you personally are involved in, what would you like local constituents to support you with or in?
Well, I mean, one of my my theme for my mayoral year is No One Left Behind, with a big focus on disabilities, because I have a number of hidden disabilities, and it's about getting people to talk about their health challenges and for them not to be ashamed that they have those challenges, and working together to lobby for more money and more research into these conditions. Because a lot of these conditions are kind of researched by charities who get no government funding. And so that's a big thing for me. Another thing is education, working with local businesses in the area, and as I said, the community groups as well.
So in relation to education, do you need some of your local businesses to take on mentees, do work placement programs?
Yes, we have a lot of students, particularly university students actually, looking for work experience in a wide range of different areas. So if local businesses would be willing to help us with that, that would be greatly appreciated.
And in relation to leaving no one behind, it is difficult, especially a lot of our challenges, especially for females, tend to be cloaked. We tend to put on our lippy and our foundation, and when they say, "Are you okay?" say, "Yeah, it's fine," and not really want to open up, either due to being reserved, having cultural barriers. But I always say, if you don't ask, you won't get. And it's very, very simple. You've got to have that courage to ask and to explain to people what your challenges are, so that you can get the help that can help you out of your situation or help you move on to the next step. So if you have challenges, whether it's at times you feel low, whether it's at times you are actually really struggling financially, because we know a lot of people are affected adversely as a result of the universal credit. And even if you've been dispersed to this area, you've been moved away from family and friends, and that's happening quite a bit, and you're on the outskirts of the borough and you actually feel isolated, you can reach out to your local council, you can reach out to groups that are actually helping with the integration element within the borough, and so that you can get to meet people and engage in activities. So ask, there's help out there. I promise you there is really help out there. Now, if we said to ourselves, okay, what should we, how would we get hold of you? How would we contact you if we wanted to lobby you or the council, or say, okay, how do I follow up with that thing, that lottery thing that you spoke about? How would people be able to do that? Is there like a main part of the website they can go to in the council, or is there a specific place they can be directed to?
Yeah, I'm very accessible as a mayor. So we've got the Barking and Dagenham Council website, which has my contact details on there, and people can email and they can phone, and we will get back in touch with them about how we can meet with them or talk with them about what their issue is.
Fantastic. Now, if you hold on right there, we're going to take another very short break. And after that break, we're going to be opening up the phone lines. But I have another special guest arriving who will be able to also shed some light into this political arena, why we should be proactive, why it's important, as I said, that your voice is heard. Because we might, you never know, it may be possible that elections are opened up again.
Absolutely. We never know when the next general election is going to be on the way, so we've got to be prepared.
And if people feel apathetic, can you, before we go to the break, because I know some people sit down and think, oh, if I put my name on the voters roll, people will find me. If I put my name on the voters roll, I'll start getting unwanted correspondence.
Yes,
if I put my name on the voters roll, it means that I have to go and actually do my civic duty. What few words could you first tell people about why they should make sure they're enrolled or registered to vote and carry out that civic duty?
It's really crucial. I mean, I wouldn't be in the position where I am today as mayor if people hadn't voted for me. And there's a saying that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so it's really important that we get involved and vote for the people that we think will best represent our views, whether in local government or national government or the London mayor. And so, you know, I would just encourage you to get involved and to find out about all the candidates. Some votes are won and lost by less than 10. We've had elections here where somebody's won by less than 10 votes. And that just goes to show how close and how much power people would have if they did go out and vote. So we're always happy to talk to people and give them more information if there's anything that they're not clear about. So, yeah, just come and find out more and just get involved.
Please make sure that you're registered and do. You heard it. Some people lose by 10 votes. I mean, that's so painful.
Absolutely.
So please, and you know, for me, I'm a lawyer. I'm not very politically active or outwardly politically active, but I am passionate, as you know, about civil rights and human rights. And the one thing I want to make sure, whether it's a good Brexit or a bad Brexit, is that individuals' civil rights and human rights are ultimately protected. So again, as I said, we'll see you after this very short break. Let me check this.
When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739-7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com. When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020-7739-7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us once again. And today, as you know, I have a wonderful guest who you've met, which is our darling Mayor of Barking and Dagenham. But I have another surprise guest for you. I call her Auntie Susan. And that's because I see her in where my office is in Hackney, and I see her all around the community, whether it's with the elderly, whether it's with the young people. And I'm going to say, Auntie Susan, I'm honoured that you're here today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, for those people who think, why is Jennifer saying this? Can you please let the people who don't know you know exactly who you are?
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. My name is Susan Fajana-Thomas. I'm a counsellor in Hackney. I've been a political and social campaigner for over 27 years in this country. So I'm an active community person. So I just like to be an advocate for people. Is that
an advocate for people? She says it simply. 27 years. Now, can I ask you? I know what made you want to become an advocate for people.
Oh, I think it's more to do with where I come from. As a family, I come from a family of people that are very active. My dad back in Nigeria, he's passed on now, was a very active political, not really political community person. Was one of the people that was fighting for Ekiti State back in those days.
I see.
Try to get other people to establish schools in rural areas. So it was something that I grew up knowing from my parents.
So you were just born into it.
Sort of, yes.
Now, over the last 27 years, that's such an extensive period of time. What do you feel, or what do you see as the top few challenges that you've kind of seen in the community that you are working in?
I think there are in every phases of society there are challenges. The challenges 27 years ago, 25 years ago when I started are different now. Back in those days are the days when BME people in terms of accommodation in social housing,
I see.
there is a issue of not just in one borough, in most of London boroughs, the social housing back then were nothing to write home about. So it was a difficult period for people. And at that time, people were still, unlike now that we've got a very established, achieving second generation of BME Africans in this country. Back then, it wasn't like this. We don't
so
have
many.
this sort of Jennifer Obaseki that we have today.
So, what would you say would be the next big thing for you? What can people in the community help you with or support you in to make the community a better place?
I think the next thing in our community is for 10 years I've been mentoring young women into leadership roles. And I think what we have seen in London in the last 1 year in terms of the increase in youth violence, that is one thing that we need to come together as a community to find solutions, to see how we can guide our young people to make better choices in their lives.
Okay, now we do talk about youth violence, and unfortunately, in the last 48 hours or the last few days in London, another 4 young men have lost their lives to knife crime. So it's a very terrible thing. So, is this part of your next project? IXL mentoring project. Is this something that people can attend?
It is. This is the next project, and this is about community. This IXL mentoring project is a very specialized project, and the aim is to support our young people, mentor them, have a one-to-one mentor, have social worker talking to them, give them a space where they can be free and safe. But importantly, it is a mentoring scheme that will get our young people to engage in terms, in particular, young people that might be at risk of gang activities. When I said gang activities, I'm not saying young people in gang. They might live in an area where there are challenges around gang activities. They might live in an area where they're vulnerable to be groomed and all of that. So that is what I meant by at risk.
So if people want to engage in this project, how can they contact you?
It is easy. We're launching formally we're launching this weekend in central London, and the launching is on Queen Victoria Street. It's 146 Queen Victoria 6 Street from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is going to be a short launch, and it's going to be a sort of consultation meeting where we are targeting young people, parents, professionals to come together and talk about how we can move things forward, how we can empower our young people.
So unfortunately, we've run out of time, folks. But if you want to be involved, that's IXL Mentoring Project. I'd like to thank my wonderful guest.
Thank you so much.
Darling Mayor.
Thank you. A pleasure.
And my wonderful Auntie Susan.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
You.
See you next week.
When you're looking for a solicitor to deal with your case, you don't just look for any solicitor, you look for the right solicitor. An expert who knows what he's doing can deal with your case the right way, achieving the best results. Obaseki Solicitors has more than 100 years of specialist experience serving the local community in immigration law, property law, human rights legislation, civil and criminal litigation, family law, employment law, Sharia law, business law, maritime and commercial law, providing professional legal services globally in Africa, Asia and Europe. Be assured we'll be able to deal with your case the absolute right way with results. So, contact us today by phone on 020 7739 7549 or go online at www.legalpal.com.